Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Hang on. And definitely turn that light off. Oh my gracious. Hello, everyone. We actually have kind of a nice background right now. Hello. How's everybody doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna turn my brightness up just slightly here. There we go. What's up, Andrew? Oh my gracious. Let's get this chat popped out. What's up, Kellen, Mitchell, Joseph? Howdy, everybody. Oh, so I just finished Tyler, Luke, Meta. What's up, everybody? Armin. I just finished shooting and filming a episode and a lot of pictures for the High Fashion Twitter Met Gala, which I am extremely excited about and very stoked to be participating in. The outfit ended up being much better than I thought it would be. I was kind of nervous because it was like one of those things where it's like, it's different to like post your, it's kind of different like posting just like an outfit and just being like, here's some clothes I thought were cool today that I own, and just like posting them up on IG and people being like, damn, those are pretty cool clothes. I like that. Oh, and I like you and we're friends. But like, it's a very different thing to be like, I am officially submitting a quote, big fit. And here is my big fit. And it's one of those things where there's a lot of possibility for people to be like, that's not a big fit. That is a middling fit at best. Hang on. Gonna take out some of the background noise of that fan. And close that door so we like actually have like a proper background, right? Proper background in it. So yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking, but I was really happy with the fit, and I don't want to give too much of it away because the gala, the online gala, is going to actually be like a pretty, I don't know, it's kind of a big deal. It's sort of a fun thing. It's being turned into a certainly big deal. I had an interview, a Zoom interview with Access Hollywood. I was like one of like 5 people who are participating that were getting interviewed by them. When does it premiere? It premieres on the first Monday in May. Are you kidding me right now? It premieres on the first Monday in May, like the regular Met Gala. And it'll mostly be done through Twitter, but I'm going to post it up everywhere. There will be like an episode on the YouTube, and I'm going to post it up on Instagram as well, because it was content that I ended up working all day on. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I like after we were done with the Zoom interview thing, I was like, so like how is this being used? Like obviously I don't care like how it's being used, but like what, just out of curiosity, like what is this for? She was like, cable television? And I was like, what? Are you kidding? And so I imagine it's one of those things where like the full interview is certainly not getting used, and yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure there will be like a series of like, they'll clip out like little like tidbits from each interview or whatever. But apparently I got interviewed for cable television, which is kind of cool. I don't have cable television, so anybody who's out there still whose parents haven't cut their cords yet will have to let me know how that looks, because I might not be able to see it at all. I would ask my parents to like DVR it, but they don't have cable television either. I'm not even sure I know of anybody off the top of my head who still does cable, which is pretty weird, because that was the only way of doing television like 7 years ago. Not 7 years ago, like maybe 10 years ago. What is cable television? Oh, Dale, what's up, Dale Caldwell? Dale knows about cable television, because Dale is, what, how old are you, Dale? Maybe 10 years older than me? He had cable television for a time in his life. Do you wear parfum? I do. Well, sometimes I do. I have like a fragrance that I wore for a while. The Gucci 2 for a little bit. Not my favorite. Wasn't in love with it. I got it as a gift for Christmas, and was like, I'm gonna try this out for a while. And long term, I don't think I would get it again. But I really want Silver Mountain Water by Creed. That's like favorite of all time fragrance that I've ever smelled, ever. Unfortunately, it's really expensive. Let's see, how much is Silver Mountain Water by Creed? It's a fucking lot. It is so much that I kind of have put it out of my head that I'm ever going to actually get a hold of it. Silver Mountain Water. Jeez. Yep, that is, let's see, how much is this? This is 12 ounces. 1.7 ounces. 1.7 ounces is 150 bucks. 4 full ounces, so a third of this can right here is 300.
Fluid ounces.
What?
Fluid, not full.
Oh, did I say full?
Yeah.
Yeah, fluid ounces, not, yeah. Yeah, I guess I did say full. Fluid ounces. And yeah, 4 ounces is $320. So a third of this is $320. It's expensive. It's very expensive, but when you smell it, it's just like, it's crazy. I did not realize that things could smell that way. I am fucking crazy about this fragrance. Other fragrances that I would really like to get, but are just, I mean, all the things that I want are completely out of my price range, and there's really not a good secondhand market for this stuff. Like for like furniture and clothes and stuff, you can kind of like pick out something that you like, or in my case, you pick out like kind of a brand that you like, and then you can find stuff that's within your price range. That's easy. Like I'm obsessed with, like there's a few that are difficult, like Rick Owens Undercover and stuff, where it's like kind of just, it's pricey unless you just want a t-shirt or something. But you know, pick out like Final Home or Hamkiss or Xenia or, you know, Helmut Lang, and there are ways to get a hold of those clothes. Maybe not the exact specific garment you want, but there's ways to get a hold of those clothes and it not just be like crazy expensive. But yeah, with fragrances, it's much harder to do that. There's another one, I don't want to. Lindsay, how would I say the Louis Vuitton one that both of us really liked? Is it Orage?
Orage.
Yeah. There's a Louis Vuitton one called Orage that's pretty good. Very gently citrusy. Has a nice little twist on it. It's technically a women's fragrance, but like, who gives a fuck about that, right? That doesn't matter.
Gender smells now because we don't have enough stupid things to do with our time.
Yeah, Lindsay made a joke about, well, let's divvy up smells by gender because we have nothing better to do with our time. Yeah, Orage was really good. There's another one by Tom Ford called Lens O, just O Wood.
What?
The like OU Wood. How would I say that? It's French.
OU wood?
Yeah, like it's, oh no, like the letter OUD Wood.
I don't know that word.
Oh, weird. Well, it's a fragrance by Tom Ford that is, I thought it was French, maybe it's not. It's spelled OUD space, and then there's the word wood, WOOD. Not sure how that would be pronounced. And Ooh. Okay, so Richard is saying that it's pronounced like ooh.
It's pronounced ooh.
Ugh. Yeah. What was that, Mark? Dale said, my favorite fragrance is Au Natural by everyone. It's so personal. Dale, you cheeky bastard. You're a funny one. Jazz Club is the goat scent. Is that even a real one? Jazz Club. Are you making a joke right now, Shia LaBeouf? Oh yeah, okay. Maison Margiela. I keep setting myself up to say Martin in between the two, and so it always like messes me up every time I try to say it. But replica line Jazz Club. Oh, that's not too pricey. I see this going anywhere from okay, this is okay. You can get a little sampler thing for $30, and then the 3.4 ounces is 130. So it is less than half of the price of Creed. Interesting note. The reason that Creed is so fucking expensive is because Maison Margiela and Helmut Lang and everybody else, like all of them, when they put out a fragrance, it's not a fragrance that they actually designed. It is a fragrance that they purchased, usually from, I want to say the Dove company. It's some company where it's just kind of like, what? I think they order them and they get like an exclusive contract on them from, like, I want to say it's Dove or L'Oreal. It's L'Oreal. L'Oreal does like all the fragrances for everybody, pretty much. The two fragrance houses that I know of for sure that design and produce their own fragrances are Creed and then Hermes. And Hermes is actually another one where, so I used to work across the street from an Hermes, and so I'd go in there a whole bunch. And the staff there was great, such cool people. Even when I didn't work at Helmut Lang and I just came in as I had like just gotten into fashion, and so I had no kind of fit, and I was like, 23 or something, and so they were like, this person is clearly not buying anything, but I walked in there and they were so sweet. There really was not a busy day in there, and they just kind of walked us around and like told us about their fragrances and stuff, and that in the it's either the New York store or the Paris store. Someone might have to help me out on that, but they like showed us this one, and they were like, this is one where our actual like the Hermes perfumist was visiting I think it's the New York store that has a greenhouse on the top. There's just like a greenhouse to hang out in, and there's no like salesy reason other than the fact that it's just kind of like if you're a really good client and you're in there to buy like a Birkin, or you're in there to buy a few tops or something, that they'll be like, can we get you like some tea? Would you like to like hang out in the greenhouse for a little bit, chat with your friends? Which is a pretty cool thing, and is the sign of like very, very high-end retail. When I went into the Chanel store in Soho, maybe it's the Uptown one, I can't remember. I think it was the Soho one. You walk in and there's all the stuff everywhere, and there was a section that, because the plan, it's pretty open air plan in the Chanel store. It's pretty open-ended. There's no like closed off place, but there were these ladies like in the far right hand section where all like the seats are and stuff, for like husbands to wait while their wives shop. And it was like 4 ladies in there literally like eating like very small desserts and drinking tea, and they were just like hanging out in the Chanel store. And I was like, those ladies spend like 20 grand a year here. Those ladies are good customers. They were just getting like served stuff. It was very cool. Huge power play. Anyway, the official perfumist at Hermes went into the greenhouse in New York. Has anybody been able to say which one it is? Nope. We'll say it's New York. went to the greenhouse and was like, wow, the smell in here is great. This is so cool. And he extended his stay there so that he could replicate the smell of the greenhouse, and they made a fragrance out of it. Which is something that I guess like when you're paying $150 for a little like vial of something, the size up from like the sample size, and you're paying 150 for it from like Margiela or whatever, I guess you just assume that some similar story goes along with that. But usually the story is something that they've kind of invented that's more of like a fantasy around it. And it's not really so much an actual like experience story the way that Hermes is able to do it or Creed's able to do it, which is, I don't know, pretty cool. Then again, it makes a lot of sense because the fragrances are meant to be, that's the big money maker. So you can't put a bunch of money into research and development and all that shit if you're gonna then like rack up the profits and stuff with the fragrances. Plus with like Margiela especially, I would rather them be doing a lot more in terms of like sneaker design and concepting and storytelling and stuff. I'd rather that stuff go to the actual physical clothes than to the fragrances. So yeah, I wish I could get more into fragrances, but I just, every time I think like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna spend $300 and get this Creed thing. I would want to wear it all the time, like every day and stuff. And you know, I just, you know, $300, I could get like I could go buy some Rick. And they're always going to win over Rick. Or Rick's always going to win over Hermes. And speaking of Rick, I got my first Rick Owens piece just the other day. Pretty fucking happy with that. It's not here yet. But, yeah. Did not pay, excuse me, an enormous amount of money. I got a top from the Dust line, I think. I think it was Dust. But yeah, bought it. It's about as new looking as something can be without the tag. So I assume someone did wear it a little bit, but very, very low key. Yeah. No, I'm not. Ooh, you have a skirt from Dust, Eve? I'm interested to know what Rick does with skirts. Because it seems like so often with women's wear, skirts are kind of a big profit margin thing, where it's just kind of like cut a straight line, sew it together, add a zipper, done, next thing. But like Rick Owens and Gary Graham, Lindsay has a really cool Gary Graham skirt, and there's a lot of cool stuff things that can be done with skirts, but it seems like it takes a special designer to really bring out the coolness in that garment. You got oh, Adam, you got that tank? I was looking at that tank. Adam was like, I just got a $30 Rick tank from The Real today. Yeah, I'm not very interested in the Rick Owens footwear thing. I would be interested in getting Rick Owens footwear if I already owned like a pair of pants and a few different tops and a jacket. Those would be like my first priority with Rick stuff, and probably a pair of shorts, to be honest. I would need to probably own like 6 things from Rick before I would be like, time to get some shoes, time to get Geo Basket, John Basket, Geo Basket. Yeah, Cameron asked if designing is something I see for myself. No. I feel like I'm like the only fashion YouTuber on earth who ever has been like, I just don't want to design at all. Like I'm thinking about like at some point with the channel, like as we grow a little bit more and get more involved and kind of need more streams of income, I'm going to start making t-shirts that are just t-shirts that I want to add to my own wardrobe, and I'll put them up for sale. They're like not going to say Bliss Foster on them at all. It's mostly going to be like images that I like, just like plain printed on a t-shirt. So like that's something that will happen at some point. But as far as like my own line. Like designing five t-shirts, getting 5 t-shirts made is not that's not really a line. But no, I have no interest in designing at all. I have no interest in starting a fashion company. I'm doing exactly what I love doing right now. I could use a little more traveling involved with this, but other than that, like I'm very much in a place that I want to be in. We have now reached the time of day where the sun is reflecting directly off of the huge white sections of the building that are directly across the street from this window, and so we get this like miraculous day glow effect with Bliss. Beautiful. Bliss is going to heaven. Wow, it's day there? Yeah, time zone's crazy. What's up, Ryan? Time zones are, real talk, very crazy. Like I regularly will marvel at time zones. It is kind of crazy. Oh, thank you, Armin. Armin was like, we love what you're doing right now. I don't want to collaborate with Virgil. What the fuck would we even collaborate on? Virgil's like, okay, dude, I'm so excited. Like, tell me what he's like doing an Instagram live DJ set while he's talking to me. He's just like, dude, I'm so excited for this collab. I'm super busy, but I'm super excited for this collab. Hang on. Checks phone, like sends final like feedback for like Drake's new airplane design thing in WhatsApp. Like send. Okay. So Bliss, tell me what you can do. What kind of collab are we doing? I'm pretty much good at everything. So like what can you bring to, like we'll play on your court. What are we doing? And I'll be like, I don't know, dude. I mostly just commentate on fashion. He's like, do you want to commentate on fashion together? We can do that. Hang on, let me find this song real quick. I don't feel like I would have anything to offer him. There would be no collaboration worth doing with me. I was like, you wanna come sit on my apartment floor with me, Verge? And we can like talk about clothes. That actually would be pretty sick. That would be very cool. Oh man, what if we just like did like a...
You become the new Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah.
Sit on my floor with fashion.
You gotta come down here. If you want to commentate, you gotta come down here because they can't hear you. They can't hear you. They literally cannot hear you. They're just hearing like a tiny mouse voice in the background. I don't know. Did y'all hear specifically what she said? I know you can hear her voice. Can you hear what she said? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, everyone's saying we cannot hear you. Wait, there's disagreement. Some of you can't hear her and others can.
You can only hear me if you still believe. I am the Polar Express.
Yeah, okay, you just have to be really loud.
Okay.
If you want to commentate, feel free to commentate. You just got to be really loud. Lindsay is selling a lot of her stuff. She's like making like all these dresses and she's like selling a shit ton of stuff. Okay, well, Ethan says you're louder than me, so I don't know. Oh, is this the Ethan that... No, Ethan Rutledge. So at the end of one of my videos, I can't even remember which one. It's one of the ones where I'm wearing the black helmet lying top throughout most of the video. Oh, it's the accessories part two video. Apparently at the end of that video, I totally forgot that I did this, but like over a year ago, I signed off on that video by being like, okay, well, that's it. That's all of my accessories. Time for me to go now. And then I was like, I love all of you. And then I leaned in really close to the camera and I was like, but I especially love you, Ethan. And and I like turned off the camera. I was just like, okay, well, hopefully there's an Ethan out there somewhere that saw that. And Ethan like sent me a message on Instagram of him like recording, like him watching it on his flat screen and me like leaning in and being like, especially you, Ethan. And he was like, I'm gonna cry. And I had totally forgotten that I did that. It was pretty funny. What do I think about Prada and Raf? I think that Raf is probably sitting at home right now with his handsome boyfriend and saying like, I really want to go to my new job. I sure would like to go to work. And then his like cute boyfriend is like, you know, painting or whatever it is that he does. And just kind of like, babe, don't worry, babe. You'll get to go to your job soon. I wonder, is he like doing a bunch of Zooms? Is he doing a bunch of Zoom conferences with Musha? Musha? Rick said, Raph is homosexual? Raph is extremely homosexual. And Raph played the fuck up with his very long-term boyfriend. I forget what his boyfriend's name is. They might be married at this point. But they've been dating for years and years and years and years and years. This guy's always been around. And there's this like weird thing within fashion of like not like playing up like the like I have a boo like thing. So like did everyone know that Virgil Abloh is married? He's been married for like 12 years. I've seen pictures of his wedding. He's been married for a very long time. He's married. Rick is very vocal about his 20 years older boo thing. But like most designers, it seems like are not, even if they're in very long-term relationships, like they seem to be very like quiet about matrimony, all caps with quotes around it. That's funny. They seem to be like everybody in fashion, if they're like married, it seems like they're very quiet about it, which is very strange. Yeah, I guess Tom Ford talks about his husband a lot. Tom seems to really like his husband. How many kids does Tom have? I think he has 2 sons, 2 little boys. Thoughts on lips? Lips are fine. I don't know. Rick does seem to love his wife an awful lot, and there's a video that it's like Michelle Lamy filming behind the scenes of a runway show or something, where like, I'm trying to refocus this so that I'm not too angelic looking, too sickly looking. I just look like I'm like plagued or something, right? Some video where like Michelle is doing like full like runway behind the scenes thing, and there's this point where she's talking to Rick in the car, and he's kind of he's ignoring her basically. I think because maybe like Michelle, despite her being like a very intelligent businesswoman and like basically being the reason why Rick was able to start his brand in the first place because she was so good at what she does, I think her personality is very like all over the place and she's kind of like me. She just talks like way too much, I think. She's like holding the camera and like asking Rick all these questions or whatever, and Rick is trying to read something, or he's like working on his phone or something, and Rick is just completely ignoring her, like just like not acknowledging that she's speaking to him at all, and it was very strange. I would think that like because they got together as like very full grown adults, and because she had to have been like 50 when they got together or something. Like, I wonder if I've always been very curious about what their marriage is like on a day-to-day basis. Like, are they like, clearly they both like have like other crushes, and like Rick has his like kind of like boyfriend situation with Tyrone, and like Michelle. I can only assume that there are a lot of dudes lining up to just be like, if you want to fuck Michelle, I am down. Like guys who are just like strong devotees of like the Rick cult, who are just kind of like, it would be way too cool if I could fuck Michelle Lamy. I would be so down to fuck one 70-year-old woman in the entire world, and that would be Michelle Lamy. I would probably fuck Michelle Lamy, to be honest. I don't know. We'd have to hang out a little bit, chill for an afternoon, see how things worked out. Lindsay had some feedback about that. What is it with Final Home? The call said, Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do for a pair of 4 out of 10 GeoBaskets. Still some life left. Ethan, that's not nice. Michelle Lenny was very pretty when she was younger, but agreed, now she might be in LA for. I will explain the deal with Final Home because I actually have like all my one Final Home piece like laying right over there. But first, I have to go to the bathroom. Nobody go anywhere. It takes so long to do these pants back up. I thought I might come out here and just do it in front of all of you. Hello. All right. Man, that joke never gets old. You're a funny lot. Piss Foster, TM. So I have my one Final Home piece. Lindsay, do you want to come over and say hi real quick? Since they've heard but not seen. And also your hair looks super cool now.
You'd rather have your Final Home piece?
Yes.
Where's the shelf?
I would like both.
Oh, you have it.
Hey everybody, this is Lindsay. She's been upstairs yelling the entire time. But no.
I'm being summoned.
Look at her hair. Her hair's so cool looking. It's like...
Why?
Because I was like trying to push it forward. It looks so cool.
Yeah, hair. Think about that.
Think about that.
Hmm.
Well, I think her hair looks cool. So, gosh, I'm like crazy cold right now. I'm very glad to have this. So, Final Home is a brand out of Japan that focuses on post-apocalyptic wear. And I have one piece by them. You may know them for the piece that is like totally translucent and has a bunch of pockets on it. That it's kind of a meme for people to fill all those pockets up with Pocky, the Japanese like candy, or other snacks. Mostly those pockets are for snacks. Anyway, I don't personally love that piece a ton. It's a cool like icon and like meme of the house, but I don't particularly love that particular piece. I'm super obsessed with the piece that I have though, which is I guess two pieces in one technically. There's the shell, the inner lining for it. It's this guy. And that is that's corn print, like corn on the cob, edible corn print. So that probably does not match with this shirt at all. Oh, it's very cold in this apartment. But when I'm like filming, I'm so high energy if I'm like filming an episode that I kind of like have to like blast the AC so that I don't like get like a really bad headache. This zipper is a little bit frustrating. All double zips kind of have to be like learned. You have to like develop a little bit of a relationship with double zips, but they're so much better wearing things with double zips because the ability to unzip the bottom is just so nice. Oh, there we go, flame up. So this guy, so yeah, as you can see, we have all these little things here so that you can attach that into the wider coat or just wear it by itself because it is a pretty eccentric piece by itself. Like it's, this is very astronaut looking somehow, I guess. So, okay. Lot of corn jokes. You guys are on it today. So there's that part of this little PC piece, and then there is the thing it actually attaches to, which is this gargantuan, very oversized coat. What size is this? On me, it definitely fits like an XL, but pretty big. Kind of just military jacket inspired, with a couple of little details, like the back like has this Velcro attachment. It's a little frustrating to get back open here. Can't get that open while it's on. But yeah, we have all these little things on the inside to reattach the lining, and we have this huge hood. Huge hood. Very big hood. Cool. This exquisite hood. And the idea is that like the world has come to an end, and that like these clothes that you buy from them are like, cause like your house and like all of your food and like your family and stuff, like everything has been destroyed, and you have taken up a nomadic post-apocalyptic lifestyle of hunting and gathering, and that the clothes that you are wearing are in fact your final home because you will die in them. So very dark. They have it's all very like cartoony and like very it's supposed to be like kind of corny and like cutesy and stuff. Will this protect me from the light if I like do this? Can I like not be day glow Foster? Yes, I think it sort of does. And that's, I mean, that's interesting, like all jokes aside, that's interesting from the standpoint of the fact that Japan is the only country in the world, it's the only people group that have ever actually experienced a post-apocalyptic environment, because they had some war atrocities committed against them by the good old United States, which is, in my opinion, like the worst thing that anybody has ever done. So that I think is kind of interesting, that like culturally they are like, hang on, I promise this is relevant. I'm gonna look up what year Akira came out. So 1988, so not recently, but the anime Akira, when that hit theaters, if you remember, Akira starts off, the very first scene of it is a nuclear bomb going off in the middle of Tokyo and destroying it. And when Akira premiered in theaters in 1988, apparently, according to reports, half of the premiere audience got up and left the theater immediately, because they were like, nope, not willing to put the idea of nuclear holocaust in the realm of entertainment yet. So we're obviously more than a generation away from the group of people that would have been going to film premieres in 1988. But I think it's sort of a, it adds something to the story, and I'm not really sure, I mean, this is just off the top of my head, so I can't really say with any confidence what that kind of adds to it. But the fact that they are being kind of flippant and playful about the idea of nuclear holocaust is interesting and makes me want to look more into it. That like they're kind of dealing with the, I don't know, that like past trauma in this way that sort of like is light and playful. That's a interesting thing. I don't know really what that means yet. I've been meaning to do a Final Home episode basically since I started the channel, and I just have never gotten around to it. But possibly, shifting gears a little bit, possibly the most interesting thing about this, the corn coat, is this patch that's on it. That this patch has these little bumps in it, and that's because inside of this patch they have given you actual I assume, actual corn seeds, or it's at least supposed to feel like corn seeds, so that if you find like a place where like the land has not been decimated by the nuclear holocaust, you can like set up shop and you have like at least a resource by which you can start making food for yourself, which is, I don't know. I don't know of very many companies that do stuff on that level of detail. I really want to do, when I finally do my final home episode, I am definitely going to very cautiously cut this thing open and see what's actually in there. Because if there are actual seeds that they put in, man, they really sound like corn seeds. Like, wait. That sounds like corn seeds. Wait, hang on. Also my bracelet. That was just the seeds. I'm pretty sure it's seeds. So that's all. They're not BB pellets. No, they're not. Don't say that they're BB pellets. That's not what they are. They gave me real corn seeds. So that's the deal with Final Home. I really like Final Home a lot. And like they have like their t-shirt and stuff that's like sort of supposed to be like a like like if this person's found unconscious, like you like they have like the target. They have their logo that's like a, it sort of looks like a target, but in all like the spaces for the target, it like says to like give like identifying information, like it asks for like your name and like original address and like blood type and like short like message like do not resuscitate, yes or no. Like there's, and that's like on a t-shirt and you're meant to like write the details in like yourself, and then you just wear the t-shirt, and then like if like you're found unconscious or something, like people like know how to like help you. So yeah, all very interesting stuff. Make some popcorn with it. Get the fuck out of here, always noided. I'm glad that you're back. I didn't see you were in the chat at first. Hi. Oh yeah, okay, so Lucas brought up a good point. Quote, this is from their Tumblr, which I remember reading this post when I got this jacket, but I have not seen it in a while. So this is directly from their Tumblr. Quote, what kind of clothes can I propose as a fashion designer when I lose my house due to a disaster, war, unemployment, etc.? And what does it look like when it is peaceful? That is a very strong concept for a brand. It's a much stronger concept than edgy and chic. Think about it. Edgy, but also chic. It's that sweet dichotomy that defines 98.9% of women's wear. And the dichotomy that defines all of menswear is not noticeable and fits poorly. Like all like the like masterminds at Target are like racking their brains being like, but how can we make people noticed less, but also the clothes don't fit anyone? I want 30 ideas by Monday. For the record, Derek, my favorite book is a tie between House of Leaves and Moby Dick. For the record. I'm gonna switch coats real quick because this is actually not like even slightly warm. Hang on one second. Hey, by the way, this live stream is brought to you by the motherfucking Patreon, which you should subscribe to, especially now because all of these live streams are not going to be watchable anymore very, very soon. They are going to be, wait, 458. Oh, nice. Very, very soon, these will not be available anymore to watch. They're going to only be for Patreon people. So let's get some Patreon people in. Let's get a few more. Goal is to get 4 people by the end of the stream. So patreon.com/blissfoster. Go sign up right fucking now. Okay, so we had a really good question from a Patreon subscriber. That's another perk of the Patreon, is that if you have a question for the live streams, you are guaranteed to get it answered. Whereas like a lot of people have just like thrown out comments and questions and stuff that I just look at, and if I don't immediately have something to say to it, I just kind of, skip it. But I asked thoughts about minimalism in general. And I do actually have, this is a really great question. I actually really like that they asked this one. So minimalism in clothing is something that I think just about, not every, but I think a vast majority of guys would say is like the only, even if they're like, I have no particular style things at all, they would say like, oh, like it's some kind of like minimalism. Even if they wouldn't describe it like that, I think that's what a lot of guys think they are going for. Even like guys who are like, I just wear like blue jeans and a plaid shirt. I would say that most guys who, again, don't consciously think about their style very much, think that by doing that, this is what like true neutral is. This is what like for fashion people, this is what like head to toe Uniqlo looks like. And I don't even know what that means, Dale. Milarepa? I don't even know what that is. Dale said minimalism equals Milarepa. I'm not sure what that means, but and oh man, I totally lost it. So yeah, most guys are going for some kind of minimalism. I'm obviously not going for minimalism even a bit, but I would say that a lot of guys are going for that. Fewer women, that seems to be like less of a thing for women. And I think that's largely because there are so many social pressures for women to dress in radically different ways for different situations. Whereas like for guys, there's this like weird double standard whereby like a guy that like just dresses the same like all the time, even when it's kind of not appropriate to dress in that way. Like if they're dressed way down for something, that's just kind of like, well, that's just how he is because like he's whatever. Whereas like if like a woman showed up to the same thing, like dressed down in the same way, like everyone would be like, what a bitch, which is radically unfair. But wow, Jay Khan is onto a really good idea. What if we did edgy and chic couture? Real cerebral thought there. So I think that minimalism, I don't know, trying to incorporate that into your wardrobe seems hard. It seems like it would be so much easier to minimalize so many other parts of your life. Like how much easier is it to like open up your phone and be like, tell you what, my phone is going to be a tool that's just for the things that I need it for. We're not going to be doing excessive, crazy things on my phone anymore. And it's just kind of like, great, delete Twitter, delete Facebook, delete like, MySpace, whatever else you're using. Like get rid of all of the things that are just like needlessly sucking up your time. Okay, cool. So, and then like, even like minimizing your space is like so much easier than trying to like do this with clothes. Like just like take out all, Marie Kondo your house. That to me is so much easier because like with clothes, because they're functional things, in order to really adopt like a like minimalist thing, you need to have figured out like how to, what actually is the best option, because like clothes are not like couches. With couches, a lot of times sight unseen, you can cop a couch and it'll be fine. Like it's maybe not like the best couch in the world, but it's fine. Whereas like with clothes, like shoes, especially jeans are a huge thing. Like if you're going to be living in one pair of jeans that in like one type of jean that you own 2 of, and that's going to be like all of your pants or whatever, other than like a suit, like you probably should make sure that they fit perfectly and that they're going to last a long time and that the pocket shape is right and that like the type of wallet that you've selected as your one wallet is going to like fit in it really nicely, but not like tilt you to the side when you sit down. And like, there's a lot of little things to consider. Minimizing your wardrobe just seems insanely difficult to me if I was trying to like develop a uniform for myself, which I think that's personally very lame. The idea of like a personal uniform. That's cool if somebody's like figured out how to really like do it successfully, but I don't know. Could never be me. Couldn't be me. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is a good point. Minimalism is easy to do, but hard to make look good and purposeful. Yes. Yeah, Bird Girlfriend makes a really good point. Minimalism feels like a cop out a lot of the time. Yeah, that there's it's very very obvious when like someone is just like lazy versus minimal, and like a lot of times the lazy people will claim like, oh, I'm just very I like read this book about minimalism. Hey, what's up, Lucas? Oh my gosh, got two in the exact same time. What the fuck, Lucas and Armin? What's up, both of you guys? Holy shit, 2 in 1. That's crazy. Hold on. I don't know. I never know when I'm doing that, if I'm even doing it even remotely correctly. Hit a damn nay. Hit a damn nay. Right ear reveal. Oh wait, which ear isn't normally? Which ear can you guys not see? If I'm like this, left ear. That's right. I bet this is like totally turned off right now, my charger. Charger, are you still even alive? 10%. Okay, cool. And sorry about that. Whew. Whew. You guys have done me a huge favor. Thank you, Lucas and Armin. I really appreciate it. Join the motherfucking Discord. It's so good. For fuck's sake, we got Nate hard. Bird Girlfriend said, I really want to believe that JJJJ Jound is a parody. It is not a parody. That is a big ol' not parody. That is 100% a real person who believes very firmly in the idea of like finely crafted product and stuff. I forget even like what Jound. Yeah, this guy, I don't understand how this guy became who he is, because he's like apparently loaded, like apparently has done extremely well for himself, and has this line of clothing that's just like super duper basic. And I mean, like, these are the plainest Oxfords I've ever seen in my life. These are the plainest sweatshirts. These are the plainest running shorts. Plainest everything. Socks. Just very, very plain thing. Coach's jacket, $240. So we're in like, just in that place that's like the price range where it's like just above like Zara. But no, J Jound is extremely not a parody. And he's connected with everybody, like all the current like influencers in like fashion journalism all fucking love that dude. I forget what his name is, but like if he's a minimalist, his name must be something like Tim or Greg or something. But yeah, he's done collaborations with APC, Garrett Light, Reebok, New Balance. He has a pair of Vans. Like, how did this person become like this? It's so crazy to me. Because I literally, like, on Throwing Fits and on Blammo and like everybody knows J Jound. Avery, holy shit, guys, we're like hitting buttons today. Lucas, Armin, Avery, thank you so much. Avery, wait, Avery, I'm gonna give you a moment because you included all 3 of your names in your thing. So I'm gonna give you a moment to turn your screen recorder on. I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to turn your screen recorder on. Okay. Avery Hayden Pierce, I love you, and I only love you. Avery Hayden Pierce. All right, cool. So yeah, include all three of your names, and you get a long, loving, vaguely threatening stare, and a personal thank you. eBay also wants to know if rare vintage Mason Martin Margiela is still of interest, and they're offering me a $24.80 coupon. Wow. For this tiny, tiny blue button-up shirt that I do not want, that they're asking for $250 for. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Lucas? No, Lucas Para. All we got was Lucas Para. Lucas Para, I also love you. Sup, gal? Yeah, because like, I mean, it is pretty cool when you like work with someone or see someone who really does have like a fully minimalist style down, and they truly, like Martin Margiela, he had very much a he had a uniform. He had like his like 7 rings that he wore on one hand, and he had blue jeans, and he had his little newsboy cap, and he had like that snap up, like a Western shirt or something maybe. Let's see. Oh no, t-shirts. He wore a lot of like plain white t-shirts, I think. Was that it? I'm gonna pull up all my pictures of Martin Margiela, which we added a new one this week. Crazy. Like somehow stumbled across a new photo of Martin. Okay, so here I have a denim jacket, newsboy cap, and blue jeans, matching top and bottom jeans. That's black and white, so I can't see it. That's black and white, but we seem to have a black jacket and a black button up. We have the Iggy Pop t-shirt. That's him working for John Paul. I don't think that's probably not relevant. Here he is with a humongous belt and a stripy t-shirt and some trousers. That's pretty cool. That's him as a student, so I'm not going to count that. Yeah, I think the caps and the denim top, denim bottom, and then like a t-shirt under it. I think that was sort of his deal once he was like designing and stuff. He also had some cool bracelets that he liked to wear. So he like had some interesting accessories. He had some necklaces and stuff. He had a lot of rings, but I think for the most part he had like just like a few different moves that he carried out, and he stuck to those for probably most of his life. There are apparently photographs of Martin that have been taken in the last like 5 years, but they're very, very hard to get a hold of. And I have not been able to convince anybody who has them to fork them over. Even if I promise to not share them. I just want to see what this man looks like. Someone asked if I shop at COS. No, because COS is... I think of COS as fast fashion. It's just like I don't know. If I need something that is just like a super duper simple basic, I go to like Uniqlo, basically. If I need like underwear and stuff, like I just get Hanes and stuff. COS doesn't do a lot for me because like Uniqlo is like, if you really need a extremely cheap basic that you can wear until it's broken and then just buy something extremely simple to replace it, that seems to be like Uniqlo's whole deal. But like COS seems to be doing like hang on, let's look right now. How much is COS? There's a COS that opened really close to Helmut Lang when I worked there. And I went in and looked around and asked another sales guy like what he thought. Like I was like, did you go over to COS? And he was like, yeah, I went over on my lunch break and ate all their hors d'oeuvres. And I was like, cool, what'd you think? And he was like, It's a fancy H&M. And I was like, yeah, that's about what I thought too. So like, and that was his very, he was a very blunt person. Also, he was always drunk at work. There was never a time when that guy was not drunk at work. He was extremely drunk all the time and got fired pretty soon. He worked at Billy Reed. He was a nice guy. I liked him, but he was drunk all the time. And if I had to work with him, I would probably hate him. So I'm gonna pull up men because I'm a man. So they're in this price range that's like one little. They're definitely a fast fashion company, but they're like one little step up in price from Uniqlo. Like linen overshirt, $115. Seersucker cotton shorts. If you've ever had seersucker pants of any kind, they fall apart incredibly quickly. $90. Patch pocket cotton shirt. And on this patch pocket cotton shirt, they're like trying to do this like interesting like, but the pockets are really wonk. They're like almost like sideways and stuff. And so it's like they're doing what Zara does in my opinion, where like they're trying to like add this like twist to it. And for them, they're kind of trying to do this like Nepenthes, kind of like Junya Watanabe sort of like twist on basics. And for me, it's like, if there's going to be any semblance of a narrative with clothing, I would like the full experience. I do not want to go in there and buy a sideways pocket linen shirt and like be like, you know, it's got sideways pockets because, you know, I'm a quirky guy. You know, my pockets sometimes are a little tilty. If I'm getting clothes of any kind, I personally, and I'm not like saying like everyone should do this, but like for bliss, if there's anything unusual about it, I need there to be kind of a brand identity with it. Which I mean, there are members of my immediate family that would be like, that's so dumb. That is so stupid. But like, that's obviously like what the whole channel is about. Arturo said he do be quirky though. Yeah, man. So yeah, to me, this is like, you know, explain some of the like identifying traits, some of the narrative, some of like the brand storytelling around COS. There is none. It just kind of doesn't exist because they're a fast fashion company, and their identity is going to shift every season according to what WGSN trend reports tell them to shift to. So there's that. Here's something that I thought of recently that I think is kind of an important thing to say aloud to everybody who's here listening is we might be losing a lot of our independent designers in the next like 2 or 3 months. We like seriously we may not have a lot of them here very quickly, probably a lot quicker than we are thinking about it. So if you're in a position to go spend a couple $100 with an independent designer that you really like, please do. Because I imagine, I mean, I saw some numbers that got leaked that said that, oh dang it, who does the moon print stuff? How am I forgetting this woman's name? Kind of post-apocalyptic, a lot of moon print tights. Very cool girl brand. Who is it? I know somebody knows. Very cool girl brand. Help me out here. Yeah, Marine Serre. Marine Serre was, they were projected, then like 40 people said Marine Serre. They were projected internally, they budgeted for $5 million in profits for the fall winter 20 sales season. And then obviously coronavirus hit, and they apparently have brought in, they were supposed to at this point have made 5 million euros. At this point, they've made 1.3. And 20% of your expected profits, is a door closing kind of loss. So yeah, if you're able to go get some stuff, first of all, if you really love that designer, they really might not be producing next season. So this really may be like the final season. And so like if you love them, go grab the last of the stuff that you can. I am personally not in a financial position to where I'm able to go like spend $800 like buying a couple of like pieces or whatever. I really wish that I was, but I personally am not. But I wanted to encourage anybody who is financially in a position where they can comfortably spend like 800 or, you know, couple racks on yeah, Kiko would be another really nice one to do. RAF is completely independent. But yeah, even if you're not able to give them your money, I reached out to a bunch of independent labels that I really love and that they make like really moving work for me. And I just said, I hope everybody is doing well. I'm sure this is a really stressful time for you all. I just want you to know that I love what you do and that I am rooting for you. And I hope everything goes okay this season. So just, I don't know, let them know that you're rooting for them. And that, because I don't know, it's weird. If like, I'm in a position where like, I'm very public facing with what I do. My like whole deal is that like I'm on a YouTube channel and that like right now I'm interacting with all of you because you're all typing things and I'm reading them right now. And I do this every week in my Instagram and Twitter, and I DM a ton of people, and I have a Discord server and like all this stuff, so that I every like on a day-to-day basis, I might in a single day, you know, get messages from 200 different people. And I'm not even that big, but like if you're in a position where it's like you're Marine Sarah and you're at your tiny little apartment, it probably right now, like that much of a lack of sales probably feels like no one cares about what I'm doing enough, because they are focused on other things. And granted, like a lot of the world is focused on other stuff. Certainly like if you have a sick relative or something, that's certainly more important than clothes. But the position that these designers are in is one that I imagine would get very lonely at a time like this. And so just shooting an encouraging message probably would mean a lot to them right now. So, I don't know. RAF is probably big enough that you might not have a way to reach him directly. But, I mean, like Marine Sarah, it's probably like the Wacko Maria guys. I mean, just pull up like the list of Essence brands and you can probably find 5 or 6 that you like really, really love. And then I bet if you send it to their Instagram, they'd probably read it. Peter Doe, I don't think does anymore, but like for a very long time, Peter Doe was the one personally answering all of the DMs on Instagram. Wow, Angelica, that's a really interesting point. LVMH and Kering might go on a buying spree after this. Yeah, that's very true. It blows my fucking mind how much money LVMH has. Like I keep forgetting that, like, because I've always assumed that it's just like, oh yeah, the sphere of fashion, like it's big, but like it's not like oil big, and it's not like automobile industry big, and it's not like even like I mean just off the top of my head, in my subconscious, like I would assume that like the furniture industry is bigger than the fashion industry or whatever, but like it's not. Like the fashion it's not bigger than the oil industry, but like it's gargantuan, it's huge, there's so much fucking money. It's, yeah, Y Project is independent. Oh yeah, Rick is independent. He's like completely independent, which is fucking crazy that he is the size that he is and he's completely independent. That's wild. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but just, I mean, the sheer like amount of like money that LVMH is able to put behind stuff is just, it's crazy to me. I don't understand how it happens. It's wild. Yeah, and obviously Bernard Arnault is in the top 10 richest people, but I wouldn't say that specific metric is a reflection of how big the industry is, because a lot of times those people who are just like fabulously wealthy. I think a lot of that has more to do with how strategic you are about your own contracts and your own wealth management rather than the massiveness of the industry. Granted, like probably nobody in like the CEO of Trader Joe's could probably not be in the top 10 richest people in the world. That's probably just not possible with like the business model that they have. But I think that like the top 10 people in the world could be any of the top 500 people in the world could have potentially been the top 10 richest people in the world if they had like negotiated their contract differently or like invested slightly differently or whatever. So that is fascinating. I think he's like the third richest person in the world, right? And Zara guy's number 1. Fuck Zara. I fucking hate Zara more than I hate Carol Baskin.
This is your friendly reminder that being a billionaire is morally indefensible.
Yeah, being a billionaire is bad, guys. Oh, hey, always noted, finally on the Patreon. I actually thought you were already in the Patreon, but you weren't. You weren't this whole time. JK. I'm so glad that you're here. Always noted. So excited. Hell yeah. All right, that's 4. What the fuck? Marley, hello. I kind of thought that you were in there too. Damn. What's up, Marley Thomas? Thank you so much. Man, you all are incredible. Oh, Marley, I am so excited for you. Gosh, I'm so excited for all 5 of you because all 5 of you are like big OGs. Avery, Armin, Lucas, Always Noided, and Marley. All of you are super active every single week in these things. I'm so glad that you joined up. Now we get you 24/7 in the Discord. I'm so excited. Oh, you should put the Patreon on the channel info. I should do that. Thank you. Andrew, be sweet to people. Every Monday, every stream, my building gets leaf blowered. Genesis, have you been drinking? Yes, doing your part. Doc, I do not speak French. Lindsay, if you want to translate that French for us. Somebody just called Doc.
Okay, thank you.
Says, Lindsay's translating the French for us. Though I will say that French, like internet comment and like French that's taught in classrooms are sometimes pretty different. Are you able to make it out or not really?
I'm out of practice, sorry.
No, it's all good. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Adam, your comment reminded me that like someone that I am close to and that I love very much, but who is very conservative, like was like telling me it's like, yeah, and like it's illegal in the United States for churches to gather, which is clearly prejudice. And I was like, is it? That's crazy. Are you ready to like nod and acknowledge and smile when I tell you that them canceling all the pride is homophobic? I think they just don't want people to gather. Actually. Thanks.
You can't hear me because it's like a bat, but I'm just screaming at a high-pitched frequency at Noah.
It wasn't Noah.
What?
No. Noah's not that. No.
He's the only person I've ever met whose life goal as a child was to be a tyrant.
That is true. All right, other topics. Oh, Kellen, that's a great question. Is Alaska real? It's not. That's a good point. Libertarians always think they'll be the ones in charge. Favorite artisanal brand right now is Zambarrett. I'm so fascinated by this like very small change that Zam makes to like the normal like artisanal brand thing, where like it's just crazy. Like every artisanal brand, every artisanal menswear brand is just like obsessed with this like brooding darkness aesthetic, and that's very cool. Like I mean, in the case of like CCP, and in the case of like Rick Owens and stuff, like those are very well fleshed out worlds. They're incredible. I love those designers so much. But like at a certain point, I'm just kind of like, please, can there be just one designer that like makes things in their own atelier and is really obsessed with like maybe figuring out some new techniques to put things together, and maybe figuring out some interest, like, oh, I've kind of reimagined the zipper or whatever. Like somebody who is in that headspace, who's not like, and also we're going to display all the clothes with meat hooks. Like I don't know. At a certain point, it feels a little bit corny. But Zam is like, I don't know. He's like an artisanal brand that's like about like joyfulness or whatever. Like especially if you're ever in like around him in person, he's like the most just kind of like, what's up, man? Like kind of person that you will ever meet. He's like very. Oh my gosh, okay, Delphine, I just found out about John Alexander Skelton. He's I love it. He's so cool. I want it, because I hadn't heard of him, and I very like arrogantly like thought in my head for a second, like, if I haven't heard of him, he's like new and like hasn't been around for a long time and is probably just getting started. Wow, what a strong first set of clips. And apparently this is not true at all, that like John L. Skelton has been around for a while. But yeah, I got so excited. I wanted to like reach out to him and be like, yo, I should like feature your brand, but I think he might be a little bit too big for that at this point. Though I should probably still try. I think he's totally indie and stuff. But he's like, for anybody who does not know John Alexander Skelton, he's he's a If kind of brand. Like if you've ever been to the shop If in New York, where they have like 2 full racks of Jeffrey B. Small, and like, you know, Rick Owens is too mainstream, and it's like all like handcrafted artisanal brands type beat. Very, very cool stuff. And yeah, John Alexander is a very strong brand. I love John Alexander Skelton. John originally started out with photography for Jeffrey. Oh, that's cool. I want to meet Jeffrey Small in person. He just seems like he would be a fascinating person to sit with and just kind of let him talk about stuff. I have never heard of any designer. By the way, people, for a limited time only, it's still open. Patreon.com/BlissFoster. You should go do that. Like if it has anybody ever for Jeffrey B. Small ever looked up the Style Zeitgeist thread that is just dedicated to Jeffrey B. Small, where like Jeffrey invited everyone that could see the invitation to his runway show one time. He just put the invitation up in that thread and said, anybody that sees it is welcome to come. And people showed up and were just like, hey, I'm on Style Zeitgeist. And he was like, great, come on in. Like, and just everybody got to come to the runway show. I don't think he does that anymore, but like he's just so obsessed with details of things. And I don't understand how he is able to function as a brand, how he's able to function as a business. Cause it seems the level of obsession that he's on seems like he would be more suited to be like Cerulli Rect, where it's less of a clothing brand and it's more of a like extended art project kind of thing. But when he goes, I mean, I can't name any of these details off the top of my head, but like when he goes into details about like, oh, like buttons, even mother of pearl buttons are sourced and they're like grown in this like particular way, and the way that they're manufactured is like, even for luxury brands, is like really environmentally harmful and stuff. And so we like go about it in this. He'll spend like 4 paragraphs talking about like how he produces mother of pearl buttons And by the way, like his buttons are maybe the coolest looking buttons of any brand I've ever seen in my life. Like the buttons all have like a natural variation in their color tone. And so like if you're looking like at a full button up shirt, it like has this beautiful variation in patina with the buttons. It's crazy. Great, great, great. But it's just so like the level of detail that he goes into where it's just kind of like, do you not ever get worried that you're gonna like, it's like Iris Van Herpen stuff where it's like, do you not ever get worried that you're gonna like concept out these like new techniques and these like, these ideas that you have, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, we only have like 2 weeks left. Like, we don't have enough time to produce these crazy ass buttons. Like, and apparently that doesn't ever happen, I guess. But yeah, the level of, yeah. I mean, to put it into a little bit of a simpler context, at the last Paris Fashion Week, Jeffrey B. Small showed the single most expensive garment in the entire season. It was, what, guys, like $110,000 for a coat? Let's look it up. I need, if anybody listens to the Joe Rogan podcast, I need like a Jesse who just is like sitting there like actively Googling things like while I'm looking things up. Yeah, here we go. Oh, and also Jeffrey is he's from Boston, and had his I think he had the atelier in Boston for a long time. It's in Paris now, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. I actually don't know. But Jeffrey B. Small Fashion Week. I'm looking at this coat now. Jeffrey B. Small, 19th of January 2020. The people at Jeffrey B. Small brand present their 110th collection named Just Another Boston Guy. That was the name of the collection. Jeffrey B. Small is the single most expensive clothing piece being presented in all of Paris Men's Fashion Week. It can be proud of its brand. Results. This, I think, is a translated article. Okay, yeah, they list off a couple of their credentials here. Jeffrey B. Small is the 37 first in the world's super luxury natural fiber fabrics exclusively developed in Italy with the 4 best fabric companies in the world, all for one single brand and collection. 119 first in the world prototype super clothing designs that will push, this is definitely a translated article, super clothing designs that will push the envelope of extreme handmade technologies and human passion for clothing excellence that will once again set a new standard for the entire industry to follow. Like looking at the clothes, and it's weird. The clothes are a lot, looking at the actual show, it's not mind-blowing like if you compare it to like a Balenciaga show or to like a Gucci show. But if you go into IF or like Darklands or something and you see what these clothes look and feel like, it's kind of like touching Tom Ford clothes. Like you're just kind of like, you like touch it and the material like communicates to you in a way where it's like, oh, I've never felt linen like that. Okay, I get it. Like you touch it and you kind of understand. Also so most expensive clothing piece shown during Paris Fashion Week men's. Also another thing that maybe puts it into context is that if you go into Atelier New York, all of the Jeffrey B. Small stuff is locked to the rack. It is locked. Like you try to pull the hanger off and the hanger's like, I don't come off of this rack. So it's a look not try on kind of situation. Hey, Andrea Gasso. Happy to have you. So excited. Damn. You lot are just the best. I so appreciate it. Dang. Can we get one more before the stream ends? What are we at? 84 minutes? We got a little bit of time left. Can we get one more? Patreon.com/BlissFoster. And there's an exclusive video up now. There's an exclusive video about Sakai that is Patreon exclusive. It might end up becoming something that goes onto the channel, but if it is, it's not. We are months and months and months, possibly years away from it, because I have to be able to create a part 2 video that requires me to do like interviews with specific people and stuff. And I don't feel comfortable releasing it to the general public until I've done that. So yeah. Also, if you really like Sakai or just want to know more about like the sickest One of the sickest things in my closet. Get some info on that. It's also like a funnier video. Quite proud of how funny it is. Dab for the Patreon. No. JK. Dang. I have not done that specific movement of my body in so long. But like that. It feels very strange. Look at my dab, bitch. Dab. I met Cam Newton multiple times. Have I ever mentioned that when I worked at Helmet Lang? I worked at Helmet, so I was technically hired on as the sales supervisor at a store that had 4 employees. I sold very little clothing because selling in a place where there's no foot traffic means that you are only able to sell via private client selling. And so you're convincing people to come to the store. There's almost no one who just walked into the store. But at one point, the guy that actually moved clothes there, named Kalen, who works at Dior and is such a good fit there. Like yeah. If you're ever in Atlanta or you shop in Atlanta and you want to pick up some Dior stuff, go talk to Kalen because he is the fucking man. He's one of the best salespeople that I've ever been around. And not just in that like he like will pressure you into buying more things, more just kind of that like he does luxury sales stuff well. He does it correctly. He's also just like a really cool motherfucker. But he like jumped up and was like, yeah, and was like running around the store, and I was like, what is going on? I'm trying to read, I'm very hungover, what's going on? And he was like, Cam Newton is here. He is in the general vicinity. He is within walking distance right now. And I was like, who is Cam Newton? Because I am not, your friend Bliss is not a sports guy. And he was like, are you joking? And I was like, I'm not joking. Who is Cam Newton? He was like, he's a football player, Bliss, a very important football player. And I was like, oh, cool, dude. Is he gonna come here? And he was like, yes, that's what I'm saying. Bliss, please try to keep up. And then, yeah, Cam Newton came by. It was very nice. He had bought like 5 coats. He just finished buying like 5 coats at Montclair. He'd stocked up on all the Drake coats. But yeah, that was my Cam Newton experience. At one point, like, Kaylin like looked over and was like, this is Bliss? And I was like, what's up, dude? And he was like, hey. But so, I mean, fairly brief interaction, but I guess it was kind of cool. Also, we had like a lot of celebrities, not a lot. We had a few celebrities like come through and like with like no interaction, because I think like one of the things about like that shopping center in Atlanta is that like, which this is the Shops at Buckhead for anybody that is over there, anybody that lives in that area. Shops at Buckhead's where like Hermes is and stuff. That area is so low key. It's kind of like, there's like Perimeter Mall, and that's like really good for like sneakers and stuff, like really good if you want to buy some like cool Nikes or whatever. And then there's like Lenox, which is like, this has like Saks, and it has Neiman Marcus, and it has like, more high-end stuff, but it's still it's very approachable. They have an Urban Outfitters and stuff. And then there is fucking Phipps Plaza, which is always a total fucking ghost town, but that's where like Zanya is, and like the like super duper high-end stuff. Some of it's so like high-end that I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm not an old lady. Like I don't have any interest in going into your store. And then there's the Shops at Buckhead, which is like it's a much cooler combination, but it's very high-end. So we had a lot of celebrities that were there just kind of walking around. Like Nicole Kidman came through one time, and she was with like a posse and stuff. And it was kind of implied that it was just kind of like, I am here specifically so I can go out and kind of walk around and do things, but I need for people to be chill. And so we just kind of like said like, hey folks, welcome in. Let me know if I can help you with anything. And then just kind of like returned to phones, because it was like, we're going to let Nicole Kidman just kind of have a normal day over here. Yeah, Russell Westbrook though is Avery Pierce said style legend Cam Newton. If you ever look at NBA tunnel fits, many of them are into high fashion. Russell Westbrook and James Harden were on GQ. I would say both those guys, at least at the time that I knew him. I mean, I have not looked at any fits for Cam Newton in years. But at the time in like 2015, when I was meeting him, I was like, I looked up some of his fits and like looked at his IG and stuff, and I was like, this is just okay. And I don't know. I feel bad for a lot of those guys because their bodies are just so damn big that it's so hard to make anything work unless you're like a former styling client of mine. Fucking played for the Miami Heat, Shane Battier. Unless you're like Shane Battier and are just kind of like, I just get button-up shirts and I get trousers made custom for me and I wear those around, and when I need to dress up, I put a suit jacket over it. Because he can get away with doing that because he's just in like investing and plays golf now, and so like he doesn't need to look cool. He just needs to look like, you know, a guy that could show up to an investment meeting and look, you know, not out of place. And so that works because he can get all of his shoes made and he can get all of his pants and all of his shirts made, and it's no problem. But if you're like, I really just want to buy like some cool designer stuff and like, you know, look cool, like it's so hard because it's like I put on this hoodie and it's like coming up to here. Like it's like I'm trying to get this hoodie to fit, but it doesn't fit. Nothing fits my body. Oh yeah, no paparazzis allowed. Ken said that it's the same with the Louis Vuitton at the Beverly Center. I don't know where that is, but yeah, I mean, if any like pops had, I mean, this place was such a fucking ghost town all the time, which is why it is no longer open, why the helmet store is no longer open. But like I don't know, if like Cam was in there and there were like paparazzi or something, I'm pretty sure we would have very quickly, anybody who is a good like high-end like clothing store, even a salesperson, should pretty quickly be able to be like, hey guys, not appropriate, I'm gonna get you to leave, please. And if they like went outside and were trying to take pictures, and then if they like went outside and like were trying to take pictures like through the window, it would just be like, guys, I'm gonna call the cops, I need you to leave. Yeah, that's definitely not appropriate. Pretty much any store that is even relatively high-end, if you get in a good client, you should be the one hammering out people if they're giving your clients trouble. All right, cool. I think we're going to call this one a wrap. This was so much fun. Thank you so much to everybody who joined up. Huge, lot of awesomeness. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I really appreciate you all. That means it really truly does make my day. Thank you. I really appreciate the support. And I'm so excited for you guys to get involved in the Discord. Chat it up. Be active. Post close. Everybody's incredibly friendly there. It is an incredible community. I'm actually really proud to call that my Discord server, because everyone there is wonderful. Anyway, I love you all so much. I truly, truly mean it. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.